Hi everyone, today we're in Drumheller, Alberta to check out the Royal Tyrrell Museum of Paleontology. Let's go explore. The Royal Tyrrell Museum of Paleontology in Drumheller, Alberta is located in Midland Provincial Park in the Canadian Badlands. It houses 160,000 catalogued fossils, with about 800 of those on public display, and has held 5 Guinness World Records. The museum was named in honor of Joseph Burr Tyrrell, a Canadian geologist, cartographer, and mining consultant who discovered the ALBERTOSAURUS around Drumheller in 1884, and the museum was given its royal designation by Queen Elizabeth II. Stepping into the galleries, you get a stunning view of a family of ALBERTOSAURUS in the Cretaceous Alberta exhibit, which shows what life would have looked like in Alberta 69 million years ago. The ALBERTOSAURUS lived in western North America during the late Cretaceous period about 71 million years ago, around the area that's today the Canadian province of Alberta. ALBERTOSAURUS walked on 2 legs and had tiny 2-fingered hands and a massive head with dozens of large sharp teeth, similar to a Tyrannosaurus. However, it was smaller than a T-Rex, only growing to about 30 feet in length and weighing 2.5 metric tons. Exploring further, the Foundations Gallery introduces visitors to the ideas and principles behind the study of paleontology and provides an understanding of the development of life on Earth, geology, and fossilization. Visitors can explore the science behind evolution and see how biological changes occurred between generations of a species, and see transitional fossils that bridge the anatomical gap between major groups of organisms. The Fossils in Focus exhibit showcases a rotating selection of fossils from the museum's vast collection. This interesting specimen shows bone fragments discovered during exploratory drilling at the Suncor Millennium Mine in 2016. The fossils belong to a long-necked marine reptile known as the elasmosaur. Each of the specimens on display is unique and stunning, like the bony skull of this Pachycephalosaurus, or a couple of these predator skulls, including an ALBERTOSAURUS. Another visually stunning specimen is this juvenile GORGOSAURUS, which is a rare example of a skeleton that was found all in one piece, with the bones still arranged in the proper order, and it's been displayed just as it was found. One of the highlights of the museum is this well-preserved Tyrannosaurus rex fossil known as Black Beauty. The nickname comes from the shiny dark color of the fossil bones, which is due to the type of minerals present in the surrounding rocks. This specimen was found in 1980 by a high school student while on a fishing trip in the Crow's Nest Pass region of Alberta. Replicas of the Black Beauty have been shown in exhibitions in museums around the world, but the original fossil is right here at the Royal Tyrrell Museum. Most of the fossils on display at the museum were found right here in Alberta, which is known as a hot spot for fossils, especially those from around 80 to 55 million years ago. Because of its unique location near the fossil-rich Badlands, the museum also functions as a research facility, and visitors can watch as fossils are prepared for research and display. The Badlands environment outside the museum provides a natural laboratory for paleontologists, exposing layers of sedimentary rock which demonstrate changes in climates, plants, and animals over time. During the summer months, the museum's technicians work in the field with paleontologists, prospecting for and collecting fossils, which are then transported back to the Royal Tyrrell Museum, where technicians remove the surrounding rock to expose the fossils for research. Another interesting exhibit is called Grounds for Discovery, which showcases some of the incredible fossil specimens which have been uncovered by industrial activity taking place in Alberta. Alberta has a unique legislation which ensures that fossils encountered during any type of industrial activity are identified and preserved. Each year, thousands of cubic meters of soil, gravel, and bedrock are excavated throughout the province.
And when a fossil is uncovered, paleontologists work closely with the company to excavate and preserve scientifically important specimens. The museum has close relationships with energy giants like Suncor and Syncrude, and have led to fascinating discoveries like this Borealopelta Mark Michelli specimen, which is the best preserved armored dinosaur in the world and was found at a mine north of Fort McMurray in 2011. Heading forward, the museum explores the different geological eras, typically separated by mass extinction events. The Precambrian era, which stretched from 4.6 billion to 541 million years ago, makes up 80% of the Earth's history, but during that time, life only consisted of simple, single-celled organisms. During the Paleozoic era, from 541 to 252 million years ago, life began to flourish, starting in the seas. Invertebrates, which originated in marine waters, began to diversify greatly, resulting in some incredible creatures. The DUNKLEOSTEUS was an armored placoderm and the largest predator to exist in the waters at that time. Some of the specimens of the DUNKLEOSTEUS were up to 10 meters long. Eventually, plants and animals began to migrate from the seas to inhabit the dry land, and communities of plants and animals began to cover the planet. One of those was the Dimetrodon, which was a reptile that lived in the Paleozoic era, but is often mistaken for a dinosaur. However, around 252 million years ago, a mass extinction event known as the Great Dying wiped out 90% of life on Earth and marked the beginning of the Mesozoic era. But before we move on, let's take a moment to appreciate this fossil known as the Triassic giant. These are the remains of the world's largest marine reptile known as Shonisaurus sikenensis and was discovered in northeastern British Columbia around 1990. Stretching a massive 21 meters long, this creature is 30% larger than its closest known relative. Finally, we enter the museum's dinosaur hall, which highlights creatures from the Mesozoic era, known as the Age of Reptiles. During this era, dinosaurs ruled the Earth and became the dominant creatures in their ecosystems. The word dinosaur was first coined in 1842 and used to describe the first dinosaur fossils that were found in England. It comes from the Greek words dinos, meaning terrible, and sauros, meaning lizard. However, we now know that dinosaurs aren't lizards at all, but are more closely related to crocodiles and alligators. The Royal Tyrrell Museum's Dinosaur Hall houses one of the world's largest collections of dinosaurs on display, with more than 40 mounted skeletons, including specimens of several familiar dinos. The Mesozoic era ran from 251 million years ago to about 66 million years ago and was made up of three time periods: the Triassic, the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous times. Although dinosaurs first emerged in Triassic times, the Dino Hall here focuses on the familiar inhabitants of the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods. Since there aren't any Jurassic-era rocks exposed in Alberta, some of the dinosaurs, like this Camptosaurus seen here, are casts of specimens that were found in Utah. These casts are exact replicas of the original fossil, made from plastic resin, fiberglass, or plaster. However, more than 3/4 of the fossils found in the Dino Hall are originals. Fossils found in Alberta are typically from the Cretaceous period, and Alberta has some of the greatest diversity of dino species found anywhere in the world. This includes the horned dinosaurs known as ceratopsians, which are known to have large bony frills extending from their necks, a variety of horns, and a parrot-like beak. Ceratopsians had the largest heads of any known land animal. One of the most famous ceratopsians was the Triceratops, whose skull made up 1/3 of its body. The word Triceratops is Greek for three-horned face, but the dinosaur actually only had two genuine horns. The smaller, shorter horn on the end of its nose actually wasn't bony at all. It was made of keratin, the same stuff that makes up your fingernails. The Centrosaurus is thought to have evolved from the same ancestor as the Triceratops, and has the same type of armor and bone on its nose, but without the two prominent horns. And another ceratopsian relative is the Pachyrhinoceros. But instead of having long horns over its nose and eyes, the Pachyrhinoceros had a strange lumpy nose. Always a favorite with kids is the Tyrannosaurus rex skeleton. The T-Rex could grow up to 12 meters long and 6 meters tall. And despite its size, scientists now believe that the T-Rex could run at speeds of up to 20 kilometers an hour, which would be fast enough to catch most humans. One of my favorite dinosaurs is the Stegosaurus, which has a series of long plates running along its back. Although the exact reason for these plates is unknown, scientists think that it might have been used by the animal for warming and cooling, or to attract mates. The Dinosaur Hall has a stunning assortment of full-size skeletons. Another local inhabitant was the GORGOSAURUS, a carnivore that lived in Alberta around 75 million years ago, in the area now known as Dinosaur Provincial Park. And this amusing-looking specimen is a Prosaurolophus, a type of hadrosaur, also known as a duck-billed dinosaur, which lived in the late Cretaceous period around 75 million years ago. In another exhibit, you can explore the creatures of the Bear Paw Sea, which was a warm, shallow sea that covered 1.7 million square kilometers during the Cretaceous period. The sea was home to a great variety of marine reptiles, ammonites, fishes, and other aquatic life, including the incredible plesiosaur, which had a 7-meter-long neck and a body which stretched over 11 meters. After surviving an incredible 185 million years, the age of the dinosaurs finally came to an end. Current evidence suggests that this was largely due to an asteroid impact, though volcanic eruptions were also causing large-scale climate change, which could have created a less inhabitable environment for these creatures. The Mesozoic era ended and gave way to the Cenozoic era, known as the Age of Mammals, which is the age that we live in today. Around 2 million years ago, the Earth's climate began to cool and the Earth entered a great ice age. Sea levels began to rise and fall, mountain chains began to emerge, and the continents began to drift into the positions where they sit today. During that time, most of the northern hemisphere, including Canada and the northern United States, were completely covered by ice. And the Cenozoic gallery here shows visitors what the Earth would have looked like around that time, when animals like the mastodon, giant mammoths, bison, and saber-toothed tiger roamed the Earth. Although small mammals existed during the age of the dinosaurs, mammal populations began to increase. It was an age of incredible mammals, like the Brontosaurus, which is related to horses and rhinos. These creatures were about the size of a small elephant and had bony protrusions over their eyes. But at the end of the last ice age, around 10,000 years ago, these large mammals began to disappear, leaving only the wildlife that we're familiar with today. Hope you enjoyed the Tyrrell Museum. Remember to keep exploring and click this link to come along on my next adventure. Until next time, it's time to exit through the gift shop.